So there you go. So keep an eye on that. It does appear that as long as this pattern maintains, as long as the momentum maintains, it looks like we're going to break through 63.13 and start trudging a little bit higher. Obviously, I don't know how high. I'll be targeting the 63.33 pivot from July 3rd in the event that we do go up. You live on YouTube on Thursdays now? No, I was looking for some settings and changes, and I put it on public, so I'm going to keep it there. I put on a NASDAQ long late last night and fell asleep, woke up to some nice green, but man, I was puckered up when I woke up and remembered. There you go. My QQQ, it breaks out. Yeah, definitely. No, I know it's still live. Yeah. Alrighty. 5250 still has 1,500 orders. So there's someone who still is placing 5250 orders on the S&P. And there's a whole bunch of liquidity laddered down there as well, every couple hundred points or so. As of today's environment, we are skewed up to 63.18 as the market is now open. On NASDAQ, we have very little, almost nothing on the book. Very little up to 23.112. Again, I'm going to continue to play my pattern, play my strategy, which is avoid the first 15 minutes or so and then get into a trade. Some of you have already noticed I created a channel called Building a System. That's where I'm going to start putting in some foundational points about how to go about building your own system. It's not going to be interactive, so I'm going to make it where only I can write in it. But anything that's paramount to my system, I'll be putting in there for your reference. That way you can create your own rules, your own strategies based around that if you so choose. So it'll be anywhere from time frame trading to higher time frame analysis to how many trades taken, etc., etc. Thoughts on PL? It's touching your zone for the third time. Yeah, so PL is once again absorbing into the 1440 range. So if they continue to attack this range, then it's going to absorb and go higher. So this will be the 1, 2, 3, 4th time to try to get into this 1440 area. So the bears are on the clock here. If this thing is going to sell, it better do it quickly because this thing appears to be putting on the same pattern that the S&P is putting on the 5-minute chart now, which is bullish absorption. They've already rejected it 3-4 times. Now they're building back up into it without any further rejection, without any further volume spike. So going back to the volume, if they come into the 1440 area and there's no volume spike, then that appears to be bullish absorption into higher prices. So, yeah. Gold right now is kind of smack dab in the middle of the macro range. You noticed I posted a trend line a couple of minutes ago about gold. So that's a trend line going back into June 13th. Now, do I do a major analysis on trend lines? No. I do pay attention to them for any kind of price action pattern. But in terms of analysis, I can't make analysis on that. So gold is still smack dab in the middle of the overall macro range. To me, it's not really actionable at the moment. If you want to trade off the trend line, fine. I have no problem with that. But as always, you have to pull the position sizing back because there's no price action confidence in that. S&P just rolled, NASDAQ just rolled off the high, and there you go. I expected that. There we go. All right, now we're back, 63.03. We have liquidity down to 6296. Coming off, unless you're Tory Trade slinging 80 minis. Yeah. There you go. The reason why I'm okay with what she does is because that's the only thing she does from what I've seen. I have never watched any of her content, but from what I've seen, that's her main setup. And if that's going to be your main setup, then fine. As long as keep it simple, trade one setup, you're not going all over the place with a bunch of different crap, and there you go. So 63.02, that was a nice little 8-pointer, 9-pointer down back. NASDAQ just flushed the whole range from 90 down to 22. and we'll be looking for 23,006 here. Obviously, I'm not playing the first 15 minutes, and we are heading a little bit lower here. Let's go take a look at the options data. Options data right now is call selling, put buying. So 180 million in puts purchased, 150 in calls sold. So once again, negative delta. Not extreme negative delta, but negative delta. On the options, Bookmap has liquidity skewed 6295. Crazy stuff. Just going to take a look around here. Gold's not moving at all. Oil got wrecked on output production notes after a nice, beautiful quadruple top off the top. Lower end of the range. One setup, two names, macro time frame. Yep. Whatever you do, whatever you choose to trade, it has to be simple and it has to be less. Yeah, we have a lot of Fed speeches today. A lot of yapping by the Fed. I think there was some comments yesterday I saw that they are looking to not even cut rates in 2025. So it's just all over the place, back and forth. I'll look at the Fed funds rate expectation today, see what the probabilities are. But 294 million in puts, 190 million in calls sold. So they are still selling in this area. At least the puts, the options. Is Top Step down for me? I don't have it up. I'll have to look it up. What are the sites you use for news? I use investing.com. Investing.com is free. I don't pay a dime for it. And it gives you all the 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star events. There you go. Good morning. What's up, Lanner? When you traded 0DTs, was it the same time frame as futures, like a little bit later in the day since they... No, it was the same time frame. It was the same time frame. I tried my best not to even involve theta into my trades when I was trading zeros. And I still trade zeros every now and then. Because I'm not really looking to hold zeros very long unless if I've managed to catch a trend and I'm in a very good profitable trade and my thesis still remains continuation, then I may hold them. But most of the time, I'm exiting quickly enough where I'm locking in profits and not really having to worry about the effects of theta over the entire session. But it was over the same time frame, yep. The more volatility enters the market, the more I switch over to trading 0DTs. I have a question when you're looking for you to take a trade. What's your setup like? When I'm trading setups, my main setups, of course, are looking for major influx of volatility or liquidity at peculiar areas. So whether it be we're trending up and I'm looking for continuation higher, I want to see basically a lack of activity. If we're trending up and I'm looking for reversal, I want to see a major influx of activity in terms of selling top wicks volume. Destroyed my chest this morning, incline bench press, flat dumbbell press. Nice. I'm doing an afternoon workout today. Another top wick here on NASDAQ, 2303. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to smoke this baby lower? Let's see. We have 30-year bond auction at 1 p.m. We have Fed Walter at 1:15. We have FOMC daily at 2:30. And then we have a couple other stuff, a little bit more crap after. We have no data at the top of the hour. So the 10 o'clock move, there's no data. So, yeah, there you go. Tomorrow we have nothing. Absolutely nothing. No data tomorrow. I'll give you something to smoke. What do we got going? NASDAQ is 2303. ES is there. Very boring week, of course. Very boring week. RTY, watch the small caps. Remember yesterday, small caps led the way. Right after we had that first 15-minute very bullish move, small caps rolled, and then ES and NASDAQ rolled. So keep an eye on the old small caps. Let's see what we can get going here. $23.06. We have a little liquidity down to 23,000, but we are now pinned. We'll see what we can do. Volume on gold was better in pre-market than the open. Yeah, that's how it goes. It's all right. Patience, man. Look, RTY is going lower. RTY is going lower. What do you think? RTY is going lower. There goes NASDAQ. There goes NASDAQ. What do you think? We have liquidity down to, what is this, 23,025. We have down into 23,000. It's just very slow, very wicky. So what time is it? It is 9:41. So we have 4 minutes until we get in the range. 6296 long. Let's take a look. 6296 would be a little bit of sweep under the prior pivots. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Someone just texted me. I have no idea who that is. Still going down, 23. Dropping back down, baby. Come on, baby. Can we get a break lower? Right now it's wicky, wicky, wicky. We're really not out of pivots. I'm going to sit in my hands. That is a fantastic idea, Ethan. Tesla is inverted NASDAQ the past week. Yeah, it's kind of pulling an apple, man. That's a liquidity mechanism. Everything else isn't moving, so something's got to move. We got 2303. Little liquidity lower here. We're still not moving. Let's go take a look at ES. ES has 6303. And then after that is 6296. So best thing to do right now is just sit on my hands. We have 500 million in calls. I'm sorry, puts, and then 140 million in negative calls. Negative calls. Very, very boring week, man. Very, very boring week. A placeholder week. Not hardly any, if any, all pivots that I've been looking at have not even touched. So it's just been a lot of waiting, playing setups as they come. But you know, we've been flat now since, I don't know, heck, July 3rd. RTY is still kind of heading up here top, wicking off 72. Platinum still doing their thing. We'll see what happens with them. The trace indicator on SPX right now. Let me hit refresh. $6,300 remains the main target for the SPX resistance. SI is coming down. Gold still waiting. Silver is, or oil is rolling back over. Keep an eye on oil. is a crap open. Where's the Momo? There's no Momo. How many screens do I have? I have 3. Although if it wasn't for streaming, I would only have 2. So one screen is dedicated to streaming, the other 2 is dedicated to... Honestly, if I was a streamer, I could do it all on one, especially with this big freaking Samsung monitor I've got. I could do it all on one easily. I don't need all this stuff. But I have 2 that I use for trading just for convenience, and then the third one for streaming. Once I get my office squared away, I'll post a little video of my setup. What do you have on your 2 traders? I have Discord open on one, which obviously I could do away with that if I wasn't streaming. I've got my charts, I've got my book map, and I've got spot gamma. Little top wick here. Going lower. Crap open. What is that? Oh, nice, Sunny. Very cool. Yeah, pretty much exactly what Sunny's got is what I have open. Right there. What is spot gamma? Spot gamma is tracking options flow. It tracks the deltas, everything related to options it tracks. Options positioning on the market. Gold is rejecting. Silver is stuck at the bottom. ES and NASDAQ aren't doing nothing. They ain't doing nothing. Is it free? No, sir. It is not free. It's various levels of cost depending on how aggressive you want to be with your membership. Pretty much as with everything. Red candle's coming back down 23,000. Here's the touch from the overnight sesh at 23,012. Do you need it? No, you don't need it. You don't need anything. You know, if you want to talk about needs, all you need is a single chart with nothing on it except volume. That's it. And volume profile I'll add. But, stuff helps. As long as you know how to apply it, of course. Sometimes too much is too much. I'll tell you this, if you do not know how to read auction theory and volume, nothing is going to help you. There's not a single thing you can add to your charts or software or otherwise that's going to help you. You have to understand conceptually the market, and you have to understand price action. Anyone check on Gaz? I feel like we need to do a welfare check on him. He's missing. Need to put him on a milk carton. Welfare check. And Damien, too. I want to make sure that guy's okay. I know he's going some problems. Man, what a crap open. The good thing is that I don't even have to worry about nothing because I ain't taking a trade. With your money, I wouldn't take a trade. However, we are through the first 15 minutes, so if I see something actionable, the system says that I can take a trade. So, gold is coming off nicely. Oil is still top wicking. We have a couple of minor pivots on gold in the 33.24, though I wouldn't front run those, me personally. NASDAQ is sliding just a touch lower. Here's the prior pivot, 23 thou. We have liquidity on ES down to 6295. NASDAQ has all this basing at 23,000. Maybe we'll get a pivot at 23. Options data is not as bearish as it was a couple of minutes ago. But still bearish. There's 23,000. Still sliding lower. What we gonna do? 23,000, 23,000, yeah. 996 still coming down. Let's see if we can base into 981. 981. Still going. Still going. Still going. Let's see what they can do. Green bounce. Right into the support area. 554 seems like a good pivot on gold. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah. QQQ. I never look at the Qs. And I'm always referencing NASDAQ, of course, but I'll take a look at Qs for you. 554.2. Yeah, that's not a bad area. That would be down into the Wednesday low area, Wednesday afternoon low. Not a terrible idea, just for a pivot. ES just bounced back up. NASDAQ just bounced back up at half that red. So again, buy the dip is still working fine. I would love to see 976. 976 would be great. Would we get it? I mean, that's what I was looking to pounce on right there. That's what I was looking to pounce on, and we didn't get it, but it's okay. That's okay. Bounce too early? That's all right. Would you front run 796, 976? No, I would not. No, I would not. However, I would be ready. I would have my, I'd like right now, for example, I've got 3 NASDAQs pulled up ready to go. I've got everything kind of just set and ready to go. So I don't have a limit order on. But when we come down to that area, which I was anticipating there, I would wait for the right signs. There's 2 things I'm looking for at that area. A strong wick, of course, with volume, and or liquidity sweep, which it really depends. Like you can't really look for a liquidity sweep, obviously. However, if I see the whole setup kind of where it increases the likelihood of where they may sweep it, I'll wait for it. So depending on the situation, I may go ahead and plan for it and put in, instead of playing 976, which is the actual low, I may pay 966 and just see if they actually do sweep it, and I'll get a better entry. Kind of like what they said, that YouTube video said a long time ago. If you want to increase your trading, then place your entries where you normally would place your stop loss, and enter there. And you're going to miss a lot of trades, but you're going to catch a lot more high quality trades. You're going to go from fighting for green when you enter to being immediately green, and now you're just sitting in a trade that's green until it starts to break away. All right, so here looks like we're going to get it. Still red move dropping on back over. Here comes the first touch of the overnight low session. 972, 969. What are they going to do? Oh. Let's see how they do the wick. Still moving up. There we go. There we go. What can they do? What can they do? Beautiful bottom wick right off that area. Now it's going 985. Can they hold the wick? Right there. All right, so our first wick off of it, right? They got down to what? 978, 968, and they bounced the living crap out of it. So, I mean, that's the same thing we did the other day. So close. Beautiful. It's still, I wish I could say I'm Einstein here, but, this is just simple market concepts. Simple market concepts. How many people got blown out trading the first 15 minutes? All the nonsense. All the back and forth trying to guess the momentum. Man, this thing is clunky. What the crap? All right. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Not much wick. Not yet, but it wicked. Remember, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't have a magic 8-ball. So I can't tell you how much it's going to wick. All I can tell you is that it's going to wick. It's not my job to try to predict because no one can predict. However, I can very accurately and very consistently tell you exactly where it's going to wick. And that's no different. So I don't know if it's going to launch all the way back up to 23. I don't know if we're going to plummet down another 200 points. All I know is that it's going to wick, and it's your job to determine how you're going to mitigate your risk. I can't tell you how to mitigate your risk. All I can tell you what I'm going to do, which is put on a trade, set a stop loss, take my hands off, see what happens. And if it turns into a 300-point NASDAQ win, yay, great. If it turns into a 5-point win, hey, that's okay too. So now a second touch will be much less confident. Maybe. So yes, every resulting touch does decrease the confidence. However, the second touch, you have to consider the possibility of the W bounce, the double bounce. But it's still, yes, less confident on front running than the first one. But you have to understand the concept that if you're long, you have to survive the possibility of a double bounce. If not, it's going to go all the way down. So yeah. Like right now, they're plummeted down here. We have a little liquidity up into, what was that, 986. If this fails, we'll definitely, yeah, we'll see what happens. But right now, they're just eating into this liquidity. They're stacking more down here to, what is that, 950. They're not holding anything really. Oh, there you go. Sweep down. More. There's Gaz. What's up, buddy? Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, 966. CVD is a little bit red, 1166 here. So let's see what they want to do. Into that area. Once more into the breach, my friends, or something like that. Maybe we touch macro? Maybe. Now they're thrusting it lower. Every bottom wick is failing here, so let's see. 958. We have 960 there. Looks like they're going to go for 950, which is going to be all into yesterday's low, 95, 94, 93, this whole little block area. There we go. 3322 NASDAQ is getting wrecked all the way down. Why is YM up? I don't know. But it's plummeting. There's 937. Boom, on down. Now we're reaching into this area of 9293, which you could play that area. What levels would you look for a re-entry into a long? Right here, 920 would be great. 920, 930. Of course, you could play the short here too, but I chose not to play the short, so that's fine. I mean, 92, 93 would be great. Would be great. There's 957. All right, 953 there. ES liquidity grab, possibly. One time I was talking to a chick. Still coming down here, 94795. There is the 10 o'clock time frame as well. Going lower, baby. Going lower. Yesterday's low. Very aggressive move. You know, ES is down, what, 13 points? No, I'm sorry, that was gold. ES is hardly down at all. ES is only down 8 points. NASDAQ is getting wrecked. So a little bit of divergence here between the two. Between the two names. NASDAQ is getting wrecked. There's 9293 on down. Let's see what they're going to do with this. Boom, right there. Can they hold that wick? I'm going to attempt a long scalp here and see how much we can get of this. GC cut off overnight trend in 333 rejection with POC. Hit eval target with that. Now going to practice not using ticks with micros and just structural the rest of the day. Beautiful. That's where I start with where's your guy. Yeah. All right, here it is into that first area. So let me see what happens here. We have no wick so far. Let me switch to the 5. Let's see what else we have. Nothing else is really... The market is not... What's Google doing? Yeah, Google's not selling. Meta is dropping. Amazon is dropping. Microsoft is dropping. Apple's up. Nvidia. So there's not all that much red to be had here. ES is barely even moving. NASDAQ is down heavy. So there's a good wick there. So where can we go from here? First touch. Beautiful. All right. I'm personally going to roll my stop up into profit territory right here. And I'm going to take my hands off. There we go. Beautiful. There's 30 points of profit right there. 25 points. Hands off. I'm going to see how much of this I can get. Maybe I can get 9.7. That'd be beautiful. It's going to break. Nah, it's not. Remember, my concept on these type of moves is that it's going to wick at least once. I can guarantee you it's going to wick once. I just don't know how far and how much. So it's my job to determine entry and manage my stop to give me a chance for a recovery, which I'm not saying it is going to recover. I'm not even trying to get it to recover all the way. I'm just want enough where I can exploit consistent patterns. I don't know if this is going to continue to blow down or not. But all I know is that right now I'm sitting pretty. I'm in a profitable trade, which is risk off, and whatever happens, happens. We still have liquidity down to 920. What is this? Got another idea. CL's bouncing. Gold is 32, not 39.22. BA's rising. Nice. Love me some Boeing. Y'all know me. I love me some Boeing. Options data is 490 million sold calls, 500 million in purchased puts. So again, yet another day of negative deltas. Another day of negative deltas. Gold at overnight open. Hold that wick, baby. Yeah. We'll see. NASDAQ is right into yesterday's lows. So that bottom wick closed all the way down. So that's a negated long entry right there. Stop me out. Profit. No big deal. So now, next target is going to be down into 22,849. ES is coming down 62.96, but they're barely even moving. Massive divergence between ES and NASDAQ here. ES is barely down. It's down, what, 7 points. NASDAQ has plummeted all the way down to yesterday's lows and is now blowing through it. So a divergence. It's difficult. That's why I elected not to chase the short, because there's not much that's selling here. That's what if ES was getting pummeled, if tech was getting pummeled, if the S&P was down too, I would elect to probably go ahead and chase some shorts. But it wasn't lining up. So I elected to play the bounces. It's okay. Got out with a little bit of money, but now it's still selling off here. 22,900. Now we're going to go for 22,848. You're wearing shorts, beautiful. YM is close to yesterday's high. Yeah, so that's also the case. Is that Dow and Russell are Dow is flying, Russell's flying up, ES is barely down. So it means like it's weird. It's a weird day. It's a weird day. ES is still bottom wicking. Come on, buddy. Let's go take a look at ES now. ES has liquidity here at 6295. But the options data continues to boil more and more into negative territory. Following your no touching rule in the first 15 minutes, I took the short at 949. Stops in the area, have hands off. Beautiful, Hedy. Well done, buddy. I know you had a good day yesterday too, so well done. Well done. $62.96 looks like it's going to absorb this. Try to get through there. ES is still coming down here. Another bottom wick. First green bottom wick there. Still holding this area. I'm just waiting for my next setup. I'm taking my own time to internalize the system, not gaining much in the market, not losing much either. Beautiful. That's a great idea. Overall, this market is, the whole week has been just nonsense. You've got to take your one or two minor setups. There's no macro setups here, which makes for a boring week. It's all minor pivots, daily price action. So ain't nothing wrong with that. I've noticed something on a lot of tickers I'm trying to watch and trade the past few months. Sometimes either 5 or even 1 minute candle after close is way more volume than the whole day or than many hours. The candle will stay flat. Well, it's all relative pricing. Right now, this market is very tight, so they are going to have these bursts of volume on these lower time frames. The higher the volume is, the less you're going to see that action. The higher the overall daily volume is, the less you're going to see the anomalies on the 5 minute. Waiting on a response from support. I'm a new member. Can you shoot me a DM in Discord? Are they dark pulls or predicting the moves? I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I try not to think about what that stuff is. I just look at for what it is, which is volume, activity. So I don't read into it as much too much. Would I wait for absorption at 62.96 for a possible upside move? Or do you think it'll be a continuation down? Well, I mean, that is the main liquidity. So, once again, the further we go down to 62.95, as they get lower to that, if I see more order flow building lower, then I'll look for absorb and lower price. If they don't, and in fact, if they start putting on higher prices, I'll look for a bounce and go higher. But overall, I'm looking for them to absorb major liquidity on the book. Low of day is in. Nice. Trader J calling low of day. R2Y on highs. Yeah. ES has bounced back up. NASDAQ just put on a bounce, but can they hold? That's the bounce I was trying to freaking get, you bunch of jabronis. Is it too late for a long? No. If this is a long setup, now there's plenty of opportunity to get in there. I've already taken 2 trades. That's a lot for me this soon. So, I'm gonna both 2 profitable trades, although very small profitable. But I'm gonna chill here to see if I can catch something that's a little bit more high quality. If it does bounce, though, you've got a couple of different scenarios. You've got the retest, the double bounce, which it looks like it may try to do. So, and we'll go from there. But I'm trying to look around the whole setup here. Sometimes the best indicator is the market itself, and there's a little wonky behavior, like I said earlier. We have the small cap, like Dow is freaking rocketing right now. The VIX is heading back down after a small spike this morning here. The S&P now is bouncing back up and going higher. So, it seems a little overblown. But we'll see. Let's take a look at the VPA. What does the VPA say? The VPA says we have a high volume influx with the bottom wick. If this candle closes over 22,930, the 3 criteria on the 5-minute chart are now met. Let's go look at the 15-minute. The 15-minute is beginning to build the criteria. We do have a little bit of higher volume. We have an aggressive bottom wick. Now we need to get over 22,960 or so to start looking for the 3 criteria on the 15-minute. So you can execute these 3 criteria on the 5 if you want, but you can't have the same confidence as if you're doing it on the 15. That's the difference. We do have initial stopping volume. I'm not sure they may redistribute this. That's right. That's 100% right. Gold's hiking. Yep, gold bounced back up. They came down to this area. Oil, a lot of random bounces. Deltas are screaming back to positive, so they have sold all the puts and they've purchased back some of the calls. Options support is down into the 6250 and then down to 6200. What time frame do I use mostly? 15-minute is my most common to set on. Tied to the market, tied to the time frame. We do have initial stopping volume, but it's not sure they made. Oh yeah. 941. There we go, 948, 950. We still have this there, but yeah, nice bounce. Please give me some critiques. Watching gold, the overnight open close was a beautiful bounce. My question is, should there be more volume at that bounce? I'm probably in my best trade yet. Should there be more volume? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I just try to read the signs. You know, there are some anomaly type things where if you get a massive move, you'd want to see initiated by volume, sure, but it doesn't mean it has to. Nice little green move here. My guess is it'll pin between 63.15 and 62.87 until CPI. It's possible. You know, we've had now 2 weeks of very, very weak catalyst activity. And the IV on the option chain has reflected that. IV has plummeted. Option chain pricing has plummeted, which indicates that the market is not pricing in a significant amount of movement. And if you go back and look, we've been pretty much here now for 7 sessions, back and forth in this range. Next week kicks off the next round of catalyst with CPI. FOMC's coming up. You know, a couple weeks after that, we'll have hopefully the tariff stuff is going to be over with. Still going. Yep, still heading up higher so far. I haven't chased along yet though. What's your thoughts on IPO stocks? I don't play them. I'd like to be involved in some of them, yeah, but I usually don't play them, no. They can rocket from here, but I don't like the fact that ES has left the lows exactly the same. They might sweep them, probably move. I don't know, man. Like I said, I wasn't looking for a massive sell-off here, which is why I elected to try to play the bounces on the way down, which normally I'm looking for short, but I didn't see the signs of a big sell-off here. The tariff news was lukewarm at best. A bunch of countries no one really cares about. The data, the rest of the market was holding up nicely. The options data was just slightly bearish, so there wasn't really much here to kind of tell me the big sell-off. So I could see them fully on recovering this. I mean, ES has already fully recovered the move. NASDAQ is already about, 40% of the move. So they could sell it back off. They could, I don't know yet. It's a little weird. You know, there's a divergence here. Would you trade a Pro Plus or a Pro? I would rather have the Pro Plus because the split is different. It's a 90-10 instead of 80-20 split. So you get more money. In terms of live or sim or all that stuff, it doesn't matter to me. I have, like, people talk about that. It makes no difference. What makes difference is when they change the rules on you when they switch you to the Pro Plus, like Top Step does. Top Step changes the rules on you. It makes it more restrictive when you switch to the live, which is a bunch of nonsense. I don't know why they do it. Yeah, the fills are slightly better, or I guess they're slightly worse because sim you can get it depending. I guess it depends. So if you're on a sim account, there's some slippage there. You can get a better fill, you can get a worse fill, whatever. With live accounts, obviously, there's going to be minimal slippage, if any. And you're going to get the actual fills, not simulated fills. So the fills will be slightly different, although most people probably really won't notice that unless you're doing market entry. If you're doing market entry, you're going to notice that a lot. If you're doing limit entries, you're not going to really notice it that much. Yeah, Trader J. Pro Plus is end of day drawdown too. So Yeah. Look at the liquidity they put down back at 22.9. So they are stacking some liquidity there. Another green day on TPT. Beautiful, Matt. What'd you take? What'd you take? Love to see it, buddy. How's the hero indicator looking? Let's take a look. We have 100 million in puts, 130 million in calls. So they flipped back to a positive delta environment from extremely negative. They got down to a billion in puts purchased, and now they're back to positive. But it's weak positive. It's neutral positive. TS has been looking bad recently. Yeah. Yeah. Pro Plus means you can YOLO 3 minis to get back inside the drawdown. Yes, that's true too. Yeah. Just a request, when you document the system, can you put real-time snapshots like yesterday, 3 criteria explanation? It was eye-opening for me. I was always looking for the 3 criteria in consecutive candles strictly, which needs not to be the case. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's a great comment. It does not need to be 3 candles in a row. It's the environment. I like it. See, that's the stuff I don't think about. I try to do my best to put myself in y'all's situation, to listen to my, the garbage coming out of my mouth. But I don't, sometimes that's the stuff, yeah. I'm not a wordsmith. Did we just have some news or something? They just wiped the liquidity. Yeah, Fed speaking. Fed comments, be careful. Warning, danger, Will Robinson. Danger. Fed is speaking. Yeah, I'm checking your DM now. There we go. Okay. All right, you should be good to go there. Access is good. 575K accounts, copy trading them on Quan Tower. Nice. Beautiful. Beautiful. How many days did it pass you to pass the TPT? It took me 6 days. 6 days. Oh, you show off. No, that's not showing off. That's not showing off. I trade evals way differently than I trade the funded accounts. You do what you got to do. I don't use full minis, but instead of using 1 to 3, I'm usually probably using anywhere between 2 to 5 to pass those accounts. I think in the 2-3 years now I've been trading props. I think I've only traded 15 minis, maybe 5 times the whole time. In a couple of those times was because I was trying to blow my live account just to see if I could do it. And I ended up blowing it, but I had a few nice wins with it. I get it, man. The few times I did it and you catch a win, it's insane. It's ridiculous. The amount of money that 15 minis provides is terrible. It's insane. But of course, you could blow an account in about half a candle, which is exactly what happened. So today's day 5 completed. I'm at 50%. Beautiful. Those that use rhythmic data, wasn't there a way to link TradingView in the past? I believe there is, but I'm not the person to ask for that. So right when the Fed started yapping, all the liquidity shifted off the book and came down to 22.9. They doubled down on 22.9. So that's where the skewed liquidity is, and that's where they're heading right back down to it. I'm going to take longer to pass the eval. 100% do it. And the thing is, Matt, I want you to do the exact same thing on the funded that you're doing now, because that's exactly the right way to do it. But don't change it when you go to the funded. Don't be nervous. Don't freak out. Just do the same exact thing. Make your money. 22,910 on down. The thing about take profit trader with daily payouts with 5 accounts, you could literally change your year. I'm not going to say change your life because it takes a lot of money to change your life, but you could change your year if you're trading 5 accounts with a couple of days of daily payout. Just think if you made like $2,000 a day per day on every account for 5 days, and then you took half that amount every day. I mean, you're talking $20, $30, $40, $50,000 in a week, if you were to do those type of numbers, of course. One good week, boom, you've paid for everything. Heck, even if you do a couple of $100, that's still going to be more than your monthly salary for most people. All right, look, 22.9, they doubled down on liquidity, and that's what they're going for right here. 22.9. What's up, Salim? How you doing? Good morning, good morning. I'm over here trying to hit 200 per account. $200, in my opinion, that's what you need to go for. If you're doing 5 accounts, go for a couple $100 a day per account. That's it. I mean, heck, if you catch one good NASDAQ trade on 1 or 2 minis, that right there should get you 3, 4, 5. I mean, a couple $100 at least. That's 10 points on NASDAQ. That's a 5-second scalp on NASDAQ. And you do that every day with daily payouts. You could take $100 out per day per account, and now you're $500 on 5 accounts per day. You do that, I mean, that's, $2,500 a week. And you could do the math. This has been my biggest issue with trading. I consistently make small accounts daily. Small amounts, but doing a copy trade at 5 accounts, maybe I should be living doing this. I'm not planning to quit my job anytime soon, but long term, that's my goal. Well, I don't want you to quit your job, I don't want you to quit your job. I want you to do both. Trading, for 99% of people, you should never even consider quitting your job to trade. Trading should augment your life, not be your life. Now, if you're getting to the point where you're slinging 8 figures, 7 figures, then yeah, quit your job. So, yeah, maybe he hates the job. Yeah, that's that too. I love my job. So I think in terms of me, I had the best career ever. I want to go back. I fight with regretting retiring. $22.92. All right, here's a bottom wick as a hold. I don't know. I have to mute. I'll be right back. I'm doing the P dance over here. All right, I'm back. What are the benefits of having so many accounts? Keeping it small. If you have a high quality system and you could control yourself and do all the other stuff we talk about, if you could put on 1 or 2 trades a day using 5 accounts or however many, and make a couple $100 per day per account. I mean, that makes your growth exponential. As long as you're consistent and you can control yourself. The problem is people don't cut their losses. People break the rules. People over position size. So they end up taking 5 or 10 point scalps on NASDAQ, but they take 40 to 50 point losses on NASDAQ because they don't know how to cut their losses. So it's all great to talk about all this fun stuff of making $200 a day per account and having all this big money and all this kind of fun stuff, but when the reality is, you've got to be able to control yourself. You've got to control your system. But if you could do that over 5 accounts and pull out that money per account, like Take Profit Trader, the unique thing about them is that they have daily payouts. So you don't have to worry about, a 7-day process of trying to get your funds out. It's like literally every single day you could take money out. It's the closest thing I've seen a prop firm do to being an actual real broker with real money. Because you make the money, you don't have to worry about a week from now. The market closes, you take the money out. The next day you do the same thing. The next day you do the same thing. I've had this account open for 3 weeks now? I've taken 5 payouts. And that's on one account. So I'm thinking if I do that with 5 accounts, I mean, I'm making yearly salaries here if I do that with 5 accounts. Take Profit Trader has 0 fees if you use the code OMTPT. There's a 0 fee. So it's literally the lowest cost of entry. It's the lowest cost of entry of any prop firm. So you pay the fee to open up the eval, and then it's $0 to go funded. OMTPT is the code. Do it. What was your career that you want to get back into? I was a military aviator. Fancy talk for I was a pilot in the military. Best job in the world, man. Best job in the world. Technically, MFFU is cheaper. I don't know. Either way, it's cheap. It's cheap. I can't tell me how many times I've back on Apex I reached the last day and lost, so I didn't take the payout. Yeah. I work at a power plant. Very cool. All right, Homer. Hey, can we change your name to Homer? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Love it. Just lost another account. What happened, Sam? You get that a lot. Saxophone. Discipline is expensive. My goal is to make enough to fund 5 accounts on BKR and keep 100% of profits and trade with the same strategy discipline. Do it. Do it. And the thing is, you're going to do everything right, and you're still going to lose. That's just the way it is, man. It's just the way it is. And that's trading. But you've got to control yourself into position sizing. So they are stacking liquid at 22.9 and 2300. If I ever go to prison, that's going to be my prison name. Liquid. I knew you sound like a pilot. I'm training to get my CPL license. Oh, nice. Very cool, Grumpy. Let me know if you need any help. I got some pointers for you. You're trading 30 micros on a 150 account. I didn't even know what you did. How many trades have you taken today? Right now they're stacking liquidity at 23,000 and 22,900. So 100 points apart. This appears to be a little bit of ascending wedgish. I don't know. I haven't taken another trade yet, so I'm watching. ES and NASDAQ are acting completely different. ES is hovering up at highs. NASDAQ is putting in yesterday lows. So, again, I don't like trading divergences because it makes me second guess things. On TPT, you can take multiple payouts. I didn't know that. No, you can't. You're talking about on different accounts, you can. Can you? Check the VIX. What is the VIX doing? The VIX is going lower, 1594. Yeah. Can you copy trade? Yes, you can. According to this, daily payouts means daily payouts. No, that means you take a payout today. Oh, wait. You can withdraw multiple times a day if that fits your strategy? Huh. See, I don't know how you could do that because rhythmic balances don't update until midnight, till the next day. The trade of 8 right now, it doesn't update until the end of the day. So how do you take multiple payouts? That doesn't make any sense. I need to reach out to them because that doesn't make sense. Interesting. Was always curious, if you're assigned to one type of aircraft, you're flying the same type through your military career? No, you can cross-train. That's really cool. I just learned about taking off an aircraft carrier and they have to use catapulting. Yep. Yeah. Now I know several people that have been multiple different aircrafts, like 3 or 4 different aircrafts. You just cross-train. Have you ever noticed a cash back in parentheses next to your withdrawals? What is that? Let me go look. Hold on. I don't see a cash back next to mine. You talking about? No. You talking about in your wallet when you go into withdrawals? Hey, ES is going up. New high. NASDAQ is doing it. God, the FOMO'd along here. That's a double bounce with bottom wicks, man. God, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Off a trend line too. You're going to do it. Don't do it. Don't come. Oh my God. I already hit my daily goal. I'm out in decision A+ setup. I've blown my profit so many times by continuing to push the button. Yeah, I mean, take your trades and get out, man. I've already taken 2 trades. It's very small profit. I'm not jumping up and down here, but I'm green, and being green in the market's a good day. So do I need to take another trade? No. Do I want to take another trade? It's nice for y'all to see me win, but I just need a good setup here. The R&R is fantastic. You're right, Doc Holliday. ES especially. With ES going to new highs right now and NASDAQ still at the lows, the R&R for NASDAQ is fantastic. But the R&R is only a measure of potential. It's not a measure of probability. $500 million in calls, $100 million in puts. So they are piling into some calls here on the S&P. What we got? Needs one more bottom tick. Well, we got a double bottom here in this area. So it's just everything's acting wonky. Q's now moving with low volume in the 15-minute. What's Kolbasi saying here? The debt crisis continues. Yeah, 410 billion in 2 days. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-oh. Coming along. NASDAQ's finally going. How do you gauge which way the divergence goes? Is that ES short is not a good play? Well, the market is very strong right now, except for NASDAQ. Look, ES is freaking flying, dude. Like freaking flying. So it's like ES just broke out. Now we are coming into the pivot from the week. For the week. Now we're gonna, yeah. So we're coming into the weekly pivots here for the S&P. Yeah, it's identical. Yeah, all green across the board. One of my withdrawals, it was lost less than 20% that day. They took notice. I noticed a cash back. I could send you a picture. I reached out to customer service, but the answer was very vague. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's not on mine. Interesting. I need to look that up. Need more? Yeah, yeah. NQ's gonna fly here if we sync up. Yep, but look, it's already getting smoked and people chasing it. So that's what I'm afraid of. I hate chasing. I hate chasing. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't even have that option in my account, dude. Fantastic work, by the way. Hold on, let me look. Yeah, that option is not even in my wallet. Weird. Maybe the daily payouts is a Pro Plus thing, because I'm not Pro Plus yet. I don't know. Or the multiple times a day is what I'm saying. Top wick on NASDAQ. Options are at 1 billion. 1 billion calls, negative puts. 1 billion, 1 billion calls, negative puts. So they are massive positive delta here. Man, I want to put on, just maybe put on one micro or something. See what happens. Simit? Yeah. Can you explain how the daily payouts works? Yes, sir. Sorry. Yeah, so daily payouts. Like for right now, I've got an account, pro account. I'm actually in the process of building some accounts on Quad Tower too, and hopefully I'm going to have 5 accounts here soon. So the issue, what you do is that you trade, however it is, you have to hit the minimum amount, and once you go beyond the minimum amount, you're now eligible for the pit to withdraw that amount of money. So you go into your account after the markets close and they sync up the data and all the data presents. You go into your account and you hit withdraw the funds and they have to approve the payout, which they haven't even questioned anything, so they just literally go ahead and approve it. And then it goes into your wallet. And we go into your wallet and that's now your money. It's just your money, like you have an account, you have a wallet that's on Take Profit Trader, that's your money. And they put the money into that wallet. You go into that wallet and you put whatever mechanism you want to take the deposit out of, brokerage, bank account, whatever, and then you transfer the money into your bank account. And you do that you could do that every day as long as you're making money and you're beyond the threshold. You do that every day. So you could take 20 sessions in a month. You could take 20 payouts in a month. if you wanted to do that, if you managed to trade well enough. So ES is touching the weekly high areas here. Is they going to reject weekly high or what? So far, yes. Any levels on CL? I don't have CL loaded. I need to load everything on there, but I don't have CL loaded right now. Look, even that. So these major macro levels, I can guarantee you they're going to wick off of them. I just don't know how far. Look at ES right now. All that major bullishness, they touch the weekly high level, which is the level we had plotted this morning, and they reject right off of it. Now it's not right now. It's a very, very small wick. That's all I can gauge. The best I can do for you is to tell you where the market's going to wick, but no one knows how much. So there you go. Now, obviously, I'm not in the trade, but still, observance purposes. NASDAQ bouncing up again. If the NASDAQ can finally break this candle, I think it may go. We'll see. Bottom wick like crazy. Yeah, if NASDAQ can break this level, it's going to be off to the races. So I want to watch here. It's got to break it, baby. It's got to break it. There's a whole bunch of stuff up to 23,000 that would be beautiful. Beautiful. But we got to get through it. It's going. It's going. Needs one more wick. Juicebox, I miss you. And VWAP. I'd be totally content with a weekly payout. Yeah. All right, here it goes. Here it goes. Come on, baby. There it goes. Dude, we went to the lake in June and never left. I got the internet upgrade so I could just work from the dock. I love it. Dude is like, hey, we're going on vacation and we're staying. I love it. So this is the area on NASDAQ. If it breaks, it's going to go. This is your R&R area. This looks like absorption to me. Look at the liquidity that just came on at 2-3 thou. Boom. If they can take this area, what's your risk right now? What's the R&R? If they take this area out, it's going to go. It's going to catch up to the S&P. So this is the area. This is the line in the sand. This is the duel, the mano a mano. When trading is boring, your system is working. Ooh, I like that. I like that. The Department of Justice has informed the court it will review the Epstein records for potential release. You mean they're going to release what they want us to see? Exactly, Gaz. Exactly. Yeah, now they found him again. Yeah. Sorry, I had to tune out for work call. Can you go over that again? Yeah, so ES is blasting to new highs. NASDAQ is sitting here at 22,976, and it looks like it's about to blow. If it gets through this area, you're going to get an instant 20 to 30 point move on NASDAQ. It's going to go. So this is the absorption into resistance here. Everything is bullish except for NASDAQ here. If NASDAQ can catch up and take this area out, go. It's going. 23,000. See this liquidity that just popped on at 23,000? It's going. What's for lunch? I'm having air fried salmon, white rice, and some Greek yogurt, spicy mayo. It's delicious. So we made, you know, that yum yum sauce with Japanese food, like hot mayo, spicy mayo. We made it with Greek yogurt instead of mayonnaise. I actually like it better. It's healthier, more protein, and I actually like it better. It's actually a lot better. It doesn't have that oily taste. I wonder what's really cooking. This is all distracting. 100% Kennedy. 100%. 100%. Here it goes. Are you ready for what's real? It's going. How long do you think this mania will last? I'm planning to buy 3-month puts on the Qs to adjust. Thoughts? It'll last longer than you can remain solvent. I would not recommend taking a short position unless there are signs. Don't front run it. I have no problem with trying to take a put at the high. The time to take the puts is at the high. All I'm saying is do not take it unless there are signs. Don't just say, hey, I think it's too high, I'm going to take a put. There are plenty of people in the past 4 years that can tell you that is the wrong move to do. Still going. 22,986. We're going to try to get up to 23,000. NASDAQ's catching up. Do you see how looking at the general market is an indicator in itself? Do you see why I built my watch list the way I did? My watch list is not just a bunch of crap that I saw on Reddit to see what happens. My watch list is intentional. It's a tool for me to use. Everything that you do in trading has to be intentional. The reason why I did not short this morning, although don't get me wrong, there was plenty of opportunity to make a crazy good amount of money shorting. Normally I do short, yes. The reason why I didn't is because nothing looked bearish. I did not expect that much selling. There weren't very many metrics to show me that there was that much shorting, so I elected to play the bounces. ES is at new high of the day. In fact, they just put in a new weekly high. Everything else is flying. If NASDAQ can go up, that's where the gains are really going to be made here. So keep that watch list in mind. It'll help you understand. Now, if everything was just blowing down, if I saw RTY, YM, plummet, if I saw the VIX rocketing, if I saw a tremendous amount of puts, if I saw liquidity, then 100% I'm shorting. I love a good short position because it pays you very quickly. It's a lot of fun. Use the market to your advantage. Now, how long do I think this mania will last? I have no idea, man. I have no idea. I think until they start aggressively cutting rates. This onesies and twosies rate cut crap, it's not going to, like, for this to stop, we have to have aggressive cuts. Now, it's not because of the cuts themselves. It's because what causes the cuts to bring, especially with how aggressive Jay Powell is being. Everything that he said he's going to do to cut up until now has happened. But just because now he has a political bias, he's not cutting. So there has to be an extreme change in the economy now to get him to agree to cut. Or Trump has to die, or Trump get out of office, and then he'll cut. Something I keep hearing from many amateur traders that they stay in losing trades and take losses and then come back further in trading and only dig the hole even bigger. 100%, Krish. That's the key hallmark indication of a retail trader. Way too small of losses, way too large of loss, or way too small of wins, and way too big of losses. Be quick to cut your losses and be slow to cut your winners. I don't mind having 30 profitable trades in a row that stop out with a very small win, as long as I'm consistently applying theory that'll eventually lead me to a 400-point win. Because all I need is one or two good massive trades a quarter, and that's it. I'm good. And then of course I have to control my downside when I'm wrong. You remember the four criteria to a good solid system? I don't think we've talked about that in a long time, but I used to talk about that all the time. The 4 criteria on which you need to label all of your trades in your trade log. I'm gonna do a podcast episode on that. Hold on. I've got a little handy dandy notebook for podcast ideas. Do I agree with Trump or Powell? Who is right? I think right or wrong don't really come into the equation with politics. There we go. Mr. Beast has now officially offered to step in as the new CEO of X. Uh-oh, he's going to be the new Elon. Did you say all the 4 hallmarks? Yeah, not necessarily a good system. The 4 criteria on which you need to label your trades. What do I mean? You take all of your trades that you've logged over the past whatever, and you've categorized all of those trades into 4 criteria. And I'll type them out as I say them. Number 1, big losses. You should have none. 0, none. Number 2, small losses. You should have a lot of those. Why? Because you're going to take losses, and the whole goal there is to keep them small. Number 3, small wins, of which you should also have a lot. Number 4, big wins. The goal is to have a few. Meaning, in a quarter, and again, I try to speak in realistic terms here. The goal is to have 2, 3, 4 big wins a quarter. If you were to look at my equity curve in my trading account, it's pretty much flat for most of the time. It goes up a little bit, it goes down a little bit. It goes up a little more, it comes down a little bit. It pretty much remains flat except for a couple of big wins a quarter. It jerks up, and then it goes flat, and it goes up, and then it goes flat. And then it comes down a little bit from a loss and does all the crazy stuff, but overall pointing upwards. So most of the time, my scalping, day trading, swing trading results in maybe a slightly upward trend, kind of flat, and then every now and then I'll have a big win that boosts me higher. But the key there is to control your big losses and continue to present yourself an opportunity to make the big win. And all you takes is 1, 2, 3, 4 times a quarter to get that big win. What's your definition of a small win or a small loss? Well, that's up to you. That's different for every person. Percentages, dollar amount, you just have to label that. Certain percentage of your account, certain percentage of the trade, whichever. Profitable trading is not big win, big win, big win, big win. It's small win, small win, small loss, small loss, small loss, small loss, small loss, small win, small win, small win, small win, small win, small loss, back and forth, and then once a month, boom, big win. Holy crap, that was nice. Now you continue the process. Small win, small win, small loss, small win. Never big loss, though. Never big loss. That's the only one you can't have on any of them, because one big loss can wipe out everything. All right, anyway, well, NASDAQ has gone flat. The S&P is holding highs. ES broke out, come back down to retest the prior resistance of 962. See if we can get up. If we can hold this area, we'll go to 23,000. Still going. You know you were going here. Look at the liquidity. They are starting to build a little more liquidity higher here. They're building up into, what is that, 23,000? And then up there into 012. So if they can get through this area, it'll be nice. Just patience, man. It's all back and forth. Just keep stops on, whatever you got to do. Go easy. Let's see what we can do here. Very boring. ES is breaking out. NASDAQ still being very sticky. So, there you go. We're just chilling. $23, 23.012. Do you have your stop losses set up as at the money, or do you add it and the trade is on? I add it after the trade's on. Yep. After the trade's on. When I'm playing the prop firms, did I hear you say you're playing 10 to 15 micros? No, I'm trading 1 to 3 minis, depending on circumstance. 1 to 3 minis. I destroyed myself on day trading short, which I swung into shoot at 2021, still recovering. Another top weight. Trading 10 micros is the same as 1 mini, but you have the option of scaling out and locking in profit. True. Other than the commissions, yes, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, massive divergence today, and we've kind of hit this little sticking point here. But yeah, big divergence. Man, ES is just flying, dude. Sucks the Nasdaq's not partaking. Yet. Very weird day for sure. Very weird day. This Nasdaq is bouncing and explode at some point. Maybe. They've got all this liquidity higher, man. Look at that. Just up and up. What is that? 23, 22, 980 into 986 into 23. I mean, all the way up, but it's just not going anywhere. But can we be patient enough to pounce on opportunity? What time is it? $965 coming back down. Is this a sweep to do it? What are they going to do? Very tight. Very tight. There's so much liquidity higher. Can you take me higher? Eventually they're going to do it. We just got to be patient, man. That was beautiful. You're welcome. Jamie says there's a 40 to 50% chance the Fed will raise rates. That dude's all over the place, man. I feel like every day he wakes up, pulls a comment out of the hat, and just yaps it. What a bunch of nonsense. Dead flat. Look at that. Just garbage. He's using ChatGPT. It's like the chicken thing in what is that, South Park. White House Twitter page is wild. Jeez Louise. What do I think of Archer Aviation? I've never looked at them. I'll have to look at it. Is there a system you use when to pick an option and when do you trade options? I trade options when the market becomes volatile. When there's a lot of volatility, VIX is trading like 19, 20, 21 and above, that's when I usually start going into more short-dated options because the risk-reward is worth it. Now the risk-reward is not worth it because data is so aggressive. Now some people may think that's counterintuitive, But if I'm going to trade zeros, which are a risky product, I want to make sure the reward is there to counter the risk, which requires volatility, movement. The movement is the only thing to get away from theta. $15 minutes. Yeah, you're right, Wooloo. You're right. All right, so that was another red move. Maybe that's a liquidity grab. I don't know. This thing is pinned flat. ES is doing its thing. Coming back up again. Another wick. They've got liquidity way higher. We're trying to make some movement here. They've got 23,000 above. $23,000. Oh man. Back and forth. Let's go take a look. What do we have on the options chain? Massive call buying, 1.7 billion in calls purchased, and 400 million in puts sold. So the options for the S&P are very, very positive. Very, very positive. Wow. So what's going to happen here? 960. Nine 5.8, 960. Can you tell they are zeros? Yeah, so I've got my settings to show only 0 DT options. I do that because we trade usually on the day-to-day basis here. $953, another liquidity. Back and forth. Flushing down. There you go. Very, very weird day, man. Very, very weird day. Wait 15 minutes, the market will move. Wait another 15 minutes, the market will move. We have insanely, insanely positive deltas on the options. We have the market is bright green. We have liquidity pulled higher to 23,000. And the market's pinned flat, not moving at all. Not moving at all. So, which makes me think they'll eventually move NASDAQ higher, but they're going to make you wait for it. Just one of those weird days, man. Wait till London close, yeah. London close. Did they pull liquidity? They pulled some of it, yeah. Yeah, they pulled some of it off. Beautiful, Kennedy. Well done, buddy. Well done. What do we got here? 2 trades for me today. Mediocre day. That is it. 40 to 50% chance of a hike. Now get this. How many people are getting into adjustable rate mortgages because they believe interest rates are going to go down, because their banks are telling them interest rates are going to go down? Literally, the banks are literally saying interest rates are going down. Now's the time to get into your adjustable rate mortgage. What happens if they go up? That would be crazy. That would be crazy. Going green, baby. Going green. Bottom wick. Will that do it? Selling arms. Let's go. Yeah. Morning. What'd I miss? 2 longs on bounces, and now nothing because the market's, the Nasdaq's not doing nothing. What happens if they go up? Banks score massive amounts of investment property. Yep. Not a lot going on. They can also apply to other connections. If you want to trade MNQ, but you want to watch the minis, you can map symbols so you trade the micro but are watching. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Thanks, Naked Trader J. Appreciate that. Weird seeing NASDAQ like this. It's very weird. Yeah, it's very weird. Hands off, in my opinion. When the market disconnects like this, you need to disconnect. Not to mention it's becoming into the middle of the day, so. I've got a book from 1969 calculating rates at 12% on a 40-year mortgage. Interesting, a 40-year note. Dang. 12%. Couldn't even function at 12% these days. With the prices of everything, 12% would destroy everything. It couldn't survive. It was a different time back then. Imagine paying 12% on $1 million home. How much of a buffer would you recommend unfunded before withdrawing? Well, first you have to leave the buffer, obviously. It's not a bad idea to leave in twice the buffer just to give you some oomph. What I don't want you to do is just wipe everything out the first withdrawal. It's tempting to take everything out, but I wouldn't do that. Just take enough out to kind of pay yourself back, make the accounts, everything you invested into that prop account, make it free, and then of course whatever else. At least the first week, and then you start building up, and then you start pulling money out. What I like to do is take out the same amount every time. Get to the point where it's once you get to a certain amount, you can start paying yourself some really nice money. But you gotta be patient enough to get there. Tariffs are, in my view, inflationary. They'll come all at once. Yeah, crazy stuff. Do I know when it's Zoom call today? I don't. Most likely to be 4 or 5 o'clock, somewhere in there. I'll post the link when it's active. Was hoping Nasdaq would fly now that J-Pow's done flapping his yip lips. Yeah, maybe. Coming up on the end of the stream here. Another boring day. What do y'all got? You see the sour P330 is getting removed from ice and they're switching to Glocks. Yeah, because they're terrible. They're misfiring. Still going. Maybe this is the move to get it up there. Look, they're building back to that liquidity they took off at 23,006. Can they get there? What's my favorite EDC? It comes and goes. You know, whatever I really feel like carrying or shooting that day. Now I'm carrying around my CZ, which is great. Sometimes I carry around my STI. My goal is to build a new block, a new Glock. I want to. STI means very different things. Oh my gosh, y'all are gross. Y'all are gross. They have now since been bought out, though. They're no longer STI, but when I bought it, they were STI. That's probably why they changed the name if I had to guess. You want to see all the John Wick weapons? Go to this website right here. This is the company that makes all the weapons in John Wick for the movies. NASDAQ finally breaking out. There you go. Finally breaking out, baby. Always come back to the CZ. I have an SPO1. It's great. After coming out of a long-rooted gambling mindset, I am knowing why I won and why I lost. I don't care beyond this as long as it fits my rules. There you go. That's all you take it, man. That's all it is. So there you go. NASDAQ finally broke out. 23. You just had to be patient. Just had to do it. A lot of shaking and baking. Everything was incredibly bullish, but the NASDAQ's got to shake out the stops. There you go. 23,000 to the upside. That's why I was not bearish today. What should be an ideal target to opposite side liquidity? For NASDAQ, I mean, you've got to put a lid on NASDAQ more so than others. ES just took out the weekly high. Now I would go to probably, you got to target 63.30. For NASDAQ, you could look for 23,010, somewhere in that area. After that, high of the day. Can you send me some clips of you shooting some range, downrange? You want to see video of me shooting? Yeah. I don't have any of the Turan tacticals. I want that. My goal is to get some of these weapons because they are beautiful weapons, but I want that Glock. But they're very, very. I have to convince the wife to let me spend $9,000 on a Glock. The Combat Master. NASDAQ still going, baby. NASDAQ still going. There you go, breaking out. Love my Bedelli. Amazing build. Yeah, Bedelli's amazing. I built a G17 with a Zafari upper. Thing is slick. Nice. Nice. Taco Bell, baby. There you go. Have I ever shot a G2? Can't say that I have. Still going. Everything is nice and green. NASDAQ is finally starting to join the fun here. Into 23,000. Just hit my target, done for the day. Nice, June. Well done. Anyone fire a scar? Yeah, I don't own a scar, but I've fired one before. $22,000, baby. 23,000 liquidity is the first touch. That's where the liquidity was on the book. All right, we're at the 10:30 time frame. Questions you got? So my thesis was this morning, as I watched NASDAQ pretty much the entire morning. I did not play any of the downside. I played 2 scalp longs. They both worked out for mediocre profits. After that, we kind of came back up, bounced, and consolidated at the 22,960 area, at which point my thesis was they're going to absorb and then catch up to the S&P. They did break out slightly here, but they haven't really done much else. It's still just a difficult day to trade. I haven't taken a third trade. I don't really anticipate taking a third trade. Maybe this afternoon if things go nuts. S&P is very bullish. Everything else is very bullish. The entire S&P is green except for tech-related products. Yeah, that's it. That's it, man. Just a very wonky day. Options have responded in a bullish delta environment. Yeah, so that's it. That's it. Could you go over the second long you took? Yes, sir. So NASDAQ came down and touched yesterday's lows. My first long was at the overnight lows, which worked out for only a couple of points. The second trade came down to yesterday's lows, which worked out quite well. It just wasn't a massive win. It was some decent profit, but not massive. I was looking for the overall move up, at least after some consolidation, but then fortunately they swept down too much, which is the hardest part of taking the trade. And then now they kind of consolidated for about an hour at 23,960, and now they're up. But yeah, you're very welcome. So it's really what I was looking for. And the reason why, to recap again, why I wasn't looking to short NASDAQ, because nothing really looked bearish. Everything was still bottom wiki. ES never really dropped more than a couple of points. RTY, the Dow was still going up. So I didn't really see much. The tariff news was lukewarm, so I wasn't really looking for a big move with that. So I wasn't looking for this big of a sell. Maybe the overnight low, and if it was great, in my opinion, that we touched yesterday's low. And obviously, if I would have held the trade, it would have been a 100-pointer. But I didn't hold it. So that was why I elected not to short the NASDAQ, which was ample opportunity to do so. But that's it. You know, can't kill them all. So if you have any other questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will see you all bright and early Monday. Remember, tomorrow's Friday, so no streams. I don't stream Fridays. So I will see you Monday for another beautiful week and another beautiful day, and hopefully we'll get a little more volatility next week. I'm out. See you.